Caleb Williams. I'm trying not to laugh at some of that just went down. But Caleb Williams, watching DJ Moore just take his helmet off, roll over, and just start storming off after that Caleb hospital ball was just absolutely, it entertained me. We've got a waiver wire show here. Week 3 waiver wire. We had a lot of smashes. I see a lot of you complaining Caleb's in the chat right now. Go, Dell, Smitty, take a lap on Dell. Smitty, I'm going to throw away everything good that happened and complain about Dell and complain like a Caleb. Like, stop complaining about Caleb. You know, if you want to complain about one player when we landed and smashed this week, then go ahead. I don't know what you're so hyper focused on one player for. And not to mention, go ahead and cut him. I'll pick up Tank Dell. I'll join your league, pick him up, cut him after 2 weeks of action. Do it. I dare you. Knee-jerk reacting Neds are the same people that came in and started saying, oh, guess we're wrong on MHJ. MHJ, I'm a reactive Roger. I'm an upset Unger because MHJ didn't do what you said he'd do, Smitty. How about we stick to the game plan? 4 catches, 131 and 2 touchdowns. Should have been 4 touchdowns. He had his paws on 2 extra throws. But all you complaining Caleb's, and I see 5, 6 of you. I'm not talking to the majority of the chat, but there's 5 or 6 of you that keep complaining over and over about Tank Dell. Like, you don't have to even be here if you don't want to. There's no roll call. If you're that bent out of shape over one player, you might not have drafted the proper team if you're losing because of one player. We're here to fix anybody's problems that may have arose from injury. We're here to comb through the waiver wire week number 3. Pacheco might be out for a while. He was on crutches leaving the stadium and wearing a walking boot, and there's concern about maybe some sort of leg fracture. From what I'm hearing, we don't know anything for sure. Christian McCaffrey's going to miss 6+ weeks. Puka Nacua is out 5 to 7 weeks, and Cooper Kupp has some sort of issue with his ankle that may keep him out some time. So we've got a lot to go over. We've got obviously the injury stuff to cover. The waiver wire show, the fantasy football show begins right now. File on in, hit that like button, hit that thumb up button on the way in the door, slap it, and let's go.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios.
It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live!
Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
From the FantasyFootballShow.com news desk, here is your breaking news.
So, yeah, we got a whole lot to discuss right here on screen. Christian McCaffrey missing 6+ weeks. Make sure you grab Garendo. We'll get into the waiver wire week number 3 in a second. Pacheco out for potentially a while. We don't know yet. It could be nothing. It could be one of those things where he misses 1 week or he is questionable and they're putting him in a walking boot for precautionary reasons. He's on crutches for a precautionary reason, but usually you're not on crutches. Usually. It's happened before, but usually you're not on crutches if this thing's okay. And they neglected to tell us what the severity of it was. And if it's a broken bone, that is something that they don't need to go to the MRI and let us know on late Monday. This is something that we would potentially know at the stadium. So it's weird that we aren't being told anything. And so we'll have to figure out and go from there. But Carson Steele, let's get on over to the waiver wire board. Here is the waiver wire for right now, and we'll change this week 2 to week 3. We can work through. If anybody sees anybody they believe should be on here, a lot of leagues are different. The percentages of ownership are different. This is for the week number 3. Of course, we took off all of the usual suspects that were scooped up last week. Mason's no longer on the board. Ford's no longer on the board. And so we're looking at this thing. We got Carson Steele and Samaje Perine time potentially. Benson as well. If we get confirmation that we have a long-term injury for Pacheco, then it might look something like this. Braylon Allen is an absolute monster. Braylon Allen is coming for everybody. If something happens to Breece Hall, and I knock on wood, I don't want it to happen, we can chew gum and walk at the same time here on the channel. So we can actually, if something were to happen, celebrate the emergence of a running back that we loved coming out of college. Braylon Allen, before any rankings or any landing spots or even projected landing spots. We're talking January 1 when I came out with my rookie running backs. So it might have been February 1. We came out with my rookie running backs. It was Braylon Allen number 1. It was Braylon Allen number 1. That did change. I did, after the draft, change my ranking to Benson. I do love Benson. Benson's still on the waiver wire ranking right here. But Allen was my number 1 pre-landing spot, pre-NFL draft, pre-all of that, because his running style fits the NFL old school like. He is Derrick Henry-esque. He's Josh Jacobs meets Derrick Henry in a way. That is this man. He's a monster on the field. He's a monster between the tackles, and he can punch in touchdowns, and he has a nose for the end zone. He caught a touchdown today. He ran a touchdown today, and they're going to continue to use him because he's so effective at finding the end zone. Doesn't mean they're going to dial back Breece Hall, but you can bet your bottom dollar they're using both backs. So he does have standalone flex value or injury value. So Braylon Allen is probably the top pickup of the entire week if he's available on your waiver wire. Now, if Pacheco ends up being out for multiple weeks, we may have to reassess this and say, well, this is the best talent for sure. But the usability of Pirine Steele, Carson Steele, and Samaje Perine, and we don't even know which one's going to really be more valuable. I would say Steele might be, because he's between the tackles guy that they trust. He fumbled in this game, but they gave it right back to him. And so I think he would probably be the between the tackle guy. This would be the PPR guy. They probably would run a committee with it, but it's a really potent, productive offense. So we'll have to see what's going on. If he breaks his leg, if he broke his leg, he's out for a while. Okay? And there's no source. I see people saying, what source? There's no source. There's speculation. There's only speculation right now on the Twitter space. There's only people speculating that he broke his leg, similar to probably what Tank Dell did, similar to probably what Tony Pollard did. He would probably need a tightrope surgery if it's that particular break. But guess who would be entering the equation? It would be the Lionheart. The Lionheart. The Lionheart.
What is a Lionheart?
I am him. When times get tough, they call on a beast. That beast rises up and starts to feast. Carson Steele will sharpen and do his part, because he, the beast, is the Lionheart. He is the Lionheart. He is the Lionheart. He is the Lionheart.
Lionheart might be a thing. It could be Pirine. Pirine could be the thing. We don't really know. I hope it's the Lionheart for that sake of how much time was spent on making that video. But we have a nice little waiver wire list here. We got Yoshi Voss. We were a week early on Yoshi Voss. He was a very nice start in week 1, didn't deliver, and then he comes in week 2 and does what we expected in week number 1 in week 2. I think A.D. Mitchell is going to be a late bloomer. If people drop him in droves, make sure you grab him, and he's still a fantastic ad. I don't care what he did in weeks 1 and 2. I know what I saw. In week 1, he had 2 touchdowns and 100 yards within this close of a grip, and he got overthrown twice by AR5, which is a problem, but we still love AR5. He's still a productive guy. He had a bad game, but this guy's still very, very solid. Very, very solid. with the idea that Cooper Kupp could miss some time. We don't know on that yet either with the ankle. I don't think it's a severe ankle injury, but you never know with these things. It could be an ankle injury that keeps him out 1 game, 2 games, 0 games. We don't know. We'll know more tomorrow. But Tyler Johnson, Demarcus Robinson, and the rookie Whittington need to be grabbed. It's hard to really know who's going to be the top dog, the elite guy of this situation when push comes to shove and everybody's out of the lineup. But they are guys to watch and pick up. Wicks was on our waiver wire for pre-week 1 and week 1, and he certainly didn't deliver in week 1. Kind of disappointing, but then he comes to deliver in week number 2, so he's still on the radar for sure. Dodson's a guy you can pick up right now if for any reason you can make a drop and you need somebody going on Monday night. Quentin Johnston is fool's gold, a Fugazi. You can trade him away if you pick him up. He probably has some perceived value, caught some balls finally. And everyone's going to think he's maybe resurging. He's not. I promise you, he's not an elite player. Naylor is better than him. I think it depends on the trade value where you move him around. You could even say Pierce is better than Johnson. You could say Johnson's right here. It depends on the trade value. Pierce has been steady for 2 weeks in a row. Naylor's been steady for 2 weeks in a row. Robinson's been steady for 2 weeks in a row. These are very nice grabs if you're in desperate need. I like Wilson and Dortch with Kyler looking as good as he looks. McMillan's still a talent. If anybody goes down in that wide receiver room in Tampa, McMillan will go to the moon. And dare I say, hey, Smitty, who are the guys that could float up to the very top? The preemptive guys. I want to go preemptive style. Who should I grab? This guy, McMillan, could be the number 1 pickup of a certain coming week. So you put him up there if you're looking from that perspective. I'm not saying you take him over Shaheed. Shaheed's definitely the best pickup of the week at wide receiver. He's still available in a lot of leagues, but that's the guy. You want a preemptive pickup on this side of the fence, on the running back side of the fence. Steele and Pirine, obviously, but they're also great pickups now. Benson, I still believe in Jalen Wright. He's still an absolute potential force if he gets in there. Garendo, if Mason gets hurt. These are all guys that can shine. Brown, if Moss gets injured. Ray Davis, these are all very good players that could rise up and be fantastic. At quarterback, Penix Jr., I believe it's a matter of time. Not if, but when, and he would become extra valuable to grab. Baker is pretty much still available in a lot of leagues and deserves to be probably atop this right now. I'd even say Fields is below Penix if Penix is starting. These are all good players to grab, and Carr is also probably right up at this territory for right now, and they're both available in a very uncomfortable amount of leagues still. So Taysom Hill's a QB and a tight end in some circles. We got Parkinson at tight end, Hunter Henry at tight end, Okonkwo. We got Taysom Hill. You can move these guys around. Gesicki, you can put Gesicki here. These are kind of guys that you can sort all over the place. This is your week number 3 waiver wire, and if anybody thinks that some of these guys are trash, if anybody thinks that these guys are trash because they didn't do anything through 2 weeks, you are a fickle Freddy. You're an overreactive Oscar. I still love you, but you're not a serious person. If you're giving up on Mahomes, I love you, but you're not a serious person. The people that are giving up on Mahomes are the same people that gave up on MHJ. Oh, were we wrong about this guy, Smitty? I'm hearing he's slow from Caleb, the garbage content creator over here, said we looked at it, and he's actually slow. This guy had 4 touchdowns if he just had the football thrown in a little bit different spot on 2 more balls, but he pulled in 2 scores, 4 catches for 131, about had 4 TDs today. And the overreactions to Mahomes are crazy. He had 2 touchdowns. It's wild. It's wild. You know who might also need to be added to the waiver wire? Probably Bagent. Tyler Bagent might need to be added to the waiver wire. And Joe says, I still love you, Smitty. I don't know what you would say I still love you for, Joe, like I got something significantly wrong for you. I think we've been pretty damn on point this year. Pretty damn on point with some of the injury stuff, with a lot of stuff, the things that I've been most wrong about. And don't say Tank Dell. All you Tank Dell complainers out there, don't say Tank Dell. We're still very early on. We're still very early on. You want to cut Tank Dell? Go ahead and leave your receipt that I'm cutting Tank Dell tonight. You're the same person that cut Jordan Love. And you came in and said, Smitty, take a lap on Jordan Love. Smitty, take a lap on Jordan Love. Do you know how many weeks it took Kincaid and Jordan Love to get to the value they should have been at last year? Jordan Love was on the waiver wire for 4 straight weeks through the middle part to like the beginning to middle part of the year. And everybody came back full circle. And Smitty, I won my league because of Jordan Love. Great job. You're going to drop Tank Dell? Put your receipt in the live chat. Put your receipt in the live chat. Then go drop Tank Dell. Send me a screenshot and I'll put it on my show for you. Cooper Kupp. Stop with the Tank Dell BS. Here, how's this? How's this? There we go. We'll put you there. You want to keep complaining and complaining and complaining. We'll put you in timeout there, pal. This one here from Hendricks. Pacheco owners still have Kamara and B-Rob. Assuming he's out, what order fab amount on P. Ryan Steele? It's hard to give you an amount, bro, because every league is completely different. Every league is a completely different situation. Completely different situation. I would say that you're probably, we're coining this Bloody Sunday because there were a lot of darn injuries today. A lot of darn injuries. So many injuries. They were out of control. But we still had a lot of production. And people that hyper focus on one player, like some of the Tank Dell, anti-Tank Dell people in here that are putting their receipt out there. Everyone's going to remember the people that are constantly complaining about Tank Dell right now. Hey, Smitty, take a lap on. How are you going to come into a show where Mason's exploding? Where Cooper Kupp's been exploding? Yeah, he got hurt. I can't control that. Marvin Harrison Jr., the best buy low of the week's exploding. How are you going to come into a show and go, Smitty, I think you got to take accountability for this Tank Dell situation. It's week 2, pal. It's week 2. Calm down. Cut him if you want. This Tank Dell nonsense. You're right. Stop with the Tank Dell nonsense. It's looking foolish. Assuming he's out long term, what amount of fab? Bro, the problem we have is we don't know who the guy is. I'm going to say P. Ryan looks pretty good if you need a PPR play. I'm going to say Steele, but we don't know. This is not one I'm going to plant my flag on until we get more information tomorrow. Good thing that this waiver wire show drops early. We'll know more about Pacheco. We'll know maybe who the Chiefs are leaning toward. We'll hear some buzz and vibes and maybe Schefter reports on something. Then we can come in tomorrow night after the Monday night game and really hammer down. Right now, I'm not ready to give you an amount because I would be sitting up here guesstimating and then it's going to look stupid tomorrow if the information's different. So we have to wait. You're not putting your waiver and claim in now, so we don't necessarily need to lock the amount down now. Meta with the $20 hauler says non-PPR, all TDs are 6 points. QB, JD5 Stafford, Gibbs, H.N. Wright, Corum, Benson, Tank Dell, DK, Demarcus Robinson, 0-2 McBride. Suggestions on the team. You know, I'm not trading H.N., not trading Gibbs. Not trading, you can't trade Dell. You obviously won't get the value. Look at the panic in even our own chat. DK Metcalf probably could sell high and go after a certain player and get some sort of 2-for-1 going, but that's the only thing that you can really do. This is probably a wait and see team. Let JD5 bounce back. And he still did well running, but he didn't quite throw the way we wanted to. Those touchdowns will come. He'll have a 2-3 TD game coming up here. Hopefully it's this next outing. But JD5, Gibbs, and Achane should carry you very well. DK, Dell will bounce back. Don't listen to the negative Neds in the chat that just are hyper-focused on Dell. I don't know what it is about this Dell situation right now in the live chat. This is wild. You're giving up on the guy that absolutely blew up for you last year. It was everybody's favorite savior, and you're just quitting on him after 2 weeks. Nice. What, are you going to quit on me after 2 weeks? It sounds like some of you might. Like last year, when a lot of people did quit on the show and came in and said, I'm unsubscribing, Gibbs is nothing. You were wrong about Gibbs. It's Monty. Monty's the ticket. It took Gibbs 7 weeks, but in his 7th week, he shined. Pittman Jr. has been trash at flex. Yeah, I wasn't high on him. You never saw me recommend Pittman Jr. What are your thoughts on starting Brian Thomas Jr.? Absolutely. Go after Shaheed on waivers? Absolutely. But I'm starting BT. BT keeps getting those massive receptions, bro. Just monster 40, 50, 60-yard bombs. He's such a good deep ball threat. CMC owner, no Mason. Pick up Allen, Chase Brown, or Steele. You're going to pick up probably, you got to wait. Steele if he's starting, and Allen if he's not, because Allen's got that touchdown production. He's a very safe pickup and play potentially. I like Steele a lot. Chase Brown can get dropped all the time, and I do monitor him if you can't hold him, but he's definitely in waiting. He hasn't failed. He's in the waiting room, and people don't understand that concept either. It's like people put a blindfold on and watch these games at half the time. I swear, it's head scratching. Pittman Jr. has been trash. That's my advice for you, though, bro. Appreciate you. This one from more. Appreciate you. Traded Olave and Pollard for Cup. I mean, I like the trade. I like the cojones here, but bro, I mean, we don't know what could happen. It could go either way. I probably would do this too if it's me, but we're risking the biscuit here because we don't know what the story is with Cooper Kupp. We'll have more information tomorrow. It is definitely something we need to keep tabs on, but it's a risk, but it's also got upside. The latest on Cooper Kupp is that, and I'll even see if there's any sort of update at all. Cooper Kupp, I mean, even looking at the replay of the ankle injury, it looks like a mid ankle sprain. I don't believe it's going to be high, but you never know. If it's high, he's out multiple weeks. If it's high, he's out multiple weeks. If it's mid, it could be 1 or 2 weeks. If it's low, it could be 1 week. It also depends on the severity. A very severe low ankle sprain could be worse than a very mild high ankle sprain. So it's not just as simple as is it high, medium, or low, but it does look like there's some significant impact. So I think it will be a either mild to not severe, but mild to pretty decent impact on the ankle. So I'm just hoping it's mid and not high. Highs can be something that take a very long time to recover from. If it's mid or low, it's probably a little bit easier to see him getting back on the field. I would say expect him to miss 1 game. Expect him to miss 1 game. That's probably what I would say. But I don't know. It's tough to know. This is a pretty good trade, though. At the end of the day, you're 0-2. Problem is you're 0-2, and can you afford to get 2 L's while you're waiting for Cooper Kupp to come back and Olave could have helped you? That would be my only concern for your particular team. Thoughts on BTJ being on the waiver wire list? I think he'd be at the top of the wide receivers by far and away. By far. He'd probably be the number 1 ad if for any reason someone dropped him, Superfish. He is 100% the top pickup of the week, potentially. Unless somebody else got dropped, it's even better. I mean, in that league, I wonder. I have Kyler and MHJ both fire for me today, Smitty. Attaboy, Rise, appreciate you. Nice job. $10 hauler. PPR, Mahomes, Mason, Ford, Walker, Wright, Garendo, Ayuk, Collins, Demarcus Robinson, Whittington, Amari Cooper, Ferguson, IR, CMC, Mitchell. Thoughts to clean this up? This is a good team, bro. Don't freak out on Mahomes. He'll be a top pickup, top trade for this week. Top buy low. Mason's fantastic. He looks very solid. Walker's, it's tough because Walker, you don't know when he's coming back. I imagine he's not going to be out that much longer, but you never know. Walker could go on IR at any moment. There's constantly some unknowns happening right now and unfolding in the NFL. It's wild. Garendo with Mason's kind of a must. I love that people come in and go, Garendo, question mark? What are we doing with Garendo? It's like, what are you talking about? What do you expect to do with Garendo? Did you think he was playing? Like, do you think he's playing a lot? This is the backup. This is so you don't have what happened to Christian McCaffrey and you get left without Mason. This is that same situation, just moving downstream. As far as fixing this team, bro, it's Ayuk is a mess. Ayuk looks like trash. Nico's fantastic. Do I trade Ayuk and maybe Walker for one slightly better player on the wide receiver front? I guess you have Ford, so you could go either way. You could just take the talent. Like, can you get a St. Brown using Ayuk and Amari Cooper right now? Can you get a St. Brown using even a Walker, an injured Walker, and maybe let's call it Amari Cooper, Walker and Cooper for a St. Brown? Somebody might do that. And we got to find out how bad St. Brown's injury is. Because everybody's banged up right now. Everybody's injured. Everybody's injured. And Ayuk, yeah, I don't know what to think of Ayuk. I'm not feeling the Ayuk vibe right now. Ayuk is very disappointing. He looks very bad. 12-team Superflex, and this is very known. We called the Ayuk thing to a T. We knew that he was going to be out of sync. We knew he was going to be ready. He's probably very injury-prone still because of his holdout. He's very rusty. Mahomes, Carr, Gibbs, HN, Barkley, Dobbins, Rice, Olave, Ridley, Addison. Would you trade Ridley and Dobbins for Chase? I would probably do that, but there's a world where a lot of people would say no. But we're 1 week removed from that world. So keep in mind that 1 week is decided that Ridley's an absolute star again. Will he return to inconsistency? He very well could. So I would take Jamar Chase and take the gamble. I know a lot of people are making fun of Jamar Chase right now. He's a crybaby. Trade Tyreek for Chase and Puka. I would take Chase and Puka and run. There's obviously word that we have potentially Tua coming back at some point. He's not thinking of retirement is the word right now. But traded away Dak for Rashee Rice. Dak for Rashee Rice. I'm starting JD5 now. Trade away Dak for Rashee Rice. I'm starting JD5. Yes, I would take Rashee Rice in a heartbeat if it's a 1 QB. Think about it. Rice is going like in round 3 if he drafted today. You know, maybe people don't feel that way. I do. Maybe like high round 3. You know, you're not taking Dak anywhere near that territory. And JD5, I still firmly believe in, my guy. Firmly believe in. Pick Carr off waivers. Yeah, Carr's not bad. He's on the waiver wire list, bro. So Carr's definitely on the list. Look at this list. And Penix Jr. is also crafty. If you don't think you'll use this quarterback for a while, which I hope you won't. It's interesting. Drop 80 Mitchell for Coleman, Shakir. I still think Coleman and 80 Mitchell will have their day. And Shakir may be the leading target getter coming out of last week. Or this week. We're still in this week because we have a Monday night game. But I don't think I like him over 80 Mitchell and Coleman long term. I still like Coleman a lot. People are going to give up on Coleman. I'm not going to. I'm going to say Coleman here, but I love 80 Mitchell still. Give me Coleman. Drop Corum for Braylon Allen. Yes, at this point, you got to do that. Unless you've got Kyron, you got to figure out another drop, and you can just drop your kicker and wait on that all week. Should I trade Chase and Worthy for Garrett Wilson, Moore, and Baker? No. Absolutely not. I know Baker's playing well, but this is not a move where you're going and getting a problematic player like Garrett Wilson right now. Jamar Chase has got his own problems, but Garrett Wilson, why is he not getting the football? Why are they not feeding Garrett Wilson? What is going on over there? What is going on over there? Togo says Worthy doesn't get the targets, pump the brakes on him. No. I'm sending Worthy to the moon right now. I don't care what 1 week does. You're being overreactive. He was outstanding in week 1. You can't use 1 week, Togo, to write a story. I'll take him off your hands. Give me the ownership of your league, please. And let me take over the team because you're not giving Worthy the respect he deserves. He's a rookie. He'll have some inconsistency. But you don't bench him off of that game. You're going to be chasing points and you're going to be changing lanes. And when you change lanes, the lane you were in is going to start going faster. You're going to look at that traffic going zipping by you. Oh, I'm going to change back in that lane. That lane looks fast. You're going to turn into that lane. Then the lane you were in is going to go faster. Worthy is an absolute monster. Stop being reactive to 1 week of football. Haven't we learned anything from the overreactive Oscars that came out trying to change your mind? You were hearing it. You were listening to this show, thank God. But people were saying this and it was getting in people's ear. I know damn well a lot of people here that are watching right now were starting to listen to this that shouldn't have. That maybe this kid wasn't as good as we thought. People were saying that. And I know a lot of people that were kind of wondering. Worthy will be one of the top buys this week. Mahomes and Worthy will be atop of my top 5 buy lows for week number 3. Mark it down. Get ready for it. It's coming. I'm going to open the phone lines here in a second. Panic chamber for Kyron. Why? Because he scores back-to-back touchdowns? I just don't understand. I don't understand. You know, I find that we have a very positive atmosphere and we're all amped up about players on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday shows. But I do know on Sunday and Monday, it's a little bit of a Debbie Downer. And people are there's a lot of loud, upset ungers in here that kind of make it feel like I think the majority of everybody here is worried when it's really only 5 loud people in the front row. I'm a panic, Peter. I'm a panic, Smitty. What are we doing with Worthy? Worthy had 1 great game and 1 bad game. Are we dropping him? What are we doing with Worthy? It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I don't know. Okay, let's see here. Super chat here from Zamir. Or about Zamir. Zamir White against Carolina. What's this question about, though, Aaron? What about it? I mean, Zamir's not really a good play no matter what. Even if he's going up against the Raiders in practice, it's not a good play really right now. This offense is just, I don't know. I don't know that I'm not trusting Zamir. But it is a good match. It is a good matchup. Anybody playing the Panthers is a good matchup. So maybe we'll take that into account, but it does matter. It does matter what your options are. So can we come back to that when you give me a little bit more context? Because in general, I'm not just excited about playing Zamir, but Carolina is always a good matchup in that situation. 10-man league going to be 1-1. Josh Allen, Love, running back. JT Gibbs, love that running stable, bro. I even love Benson. Cup, Dell. I mean, you got hit hard with the Cup injury. Hopefully not for too long. Reed, you got hit with the Jordan Love. You got Jordan Love at quarterback, but you got Josh Allen, so you're good. McBride. Any moves? Probably say that selling high is not really possible for anybody on your team. Not one single person on your squad. Doesn't mean I don't like it, but you have no ability to sell at good fair market value. Every player you have, JP, you'd be selling on the low. So I'm going to say stand down. If you had somebody that was popping off, we could maybe explore it. Dell for Worthy, I'd rather have Worthy. But that's been known all year. I still love Dell. Trade me Dell. I'll be attacking Dell in every single league I don't have him in. Every single one. But Worthy has been, will be, ranked above him because he plays in such an amazing situation. Especially with Hollywood Brown now out for the year. St. Brown and B-Rob for Rice and Rashad White. Damn. I mean, it depends on St. Brown. If he's missing time, that Rice side's going to be better. Chat, what are we doing on that? Would you rather have Rashee Rice? Would you rather Rashee Rice or St. Brown right now? Can we get a vote on that one with the assuming going on? Rank order of this bench talent. Reed, tier break, everybody else. That's it. There's not a lot of consistency at all. But Reed for sure. Too soon to drop Tajay Spears. Braylon looking interesting. I'd much rather have Braylon Allen over Tajay Spears. You should have done that move last week when we told you to, pal. Now everyone's going to go after Braylon Allen. You missed my super chat, says Ivan. Did I? Let's see, Ivan. Mahomes, Mason, Hall, MHJ, London, Kincaid, Keenan Allen. If I did, I'm sorry, pal. I don't know why it didn't show up. I just traded Dak and K9 for Mahomes and Zamir. I like the Mahomes side by a country mile. Perez, absolutely. I'm buying Mahomes at every turn. Thank you for letting me know about that. Should I panic with AR5 and Chase? We loved AR5 in week 1. We didn't love him as much this week. Is that mean panic after one bad week? Or are we excited about what he delivered in week 1? I just think this is reactive. And Jamar Chase, there's a little more room to panic because he's failed before. He's done some upsetting things. He's gotten injured. But I still think Jamar Chase has bounced back almost every time at some point. I'm not selling him at his lowest, no. Need advice with what I can do. 0-2, Hurts, Jaden Daniels, Bijan Brees, Kyron, Wright, Benson, Dell, Worthy, Terry, Keon, JMO. You got a bunch of good wide receivers. You don't have like an elite guy standing out sticking out like a sore thumb. But do I want you trading those RBs? I do not. Do I want you trading your quarterback? No. Could you get rid of Daniels? Not this week. Another week when he's developing and getting even more fantasy, production going. Everybody love Jaden Daniels. Let's keep in mind, Jaden Daniels and AR5 were in the top 5 quarterbacks, top 4 quarterbacks coming out of week 1. Now everybody's jumping off the Jaden Daniels and AR5 train. This is Marvin Harrison Jr. all over again, but for week number 3. So let Jaden Daniels gain some value, and then we come around and maybe couple him with one of the wide receivers. But for right now, you're standing down because you have very good wide receivers, and you might be able to turn JD5 with some injuries that are happening at quarterback into something if you throw one wide receiver in. So let's look at it next week, not this week. I stand down. PPR just traded Hill, Sharps for Kyron and Pickens. I like that a lot because Hill, we don't know what Hill's going to be. I like Kyron a lot still. I don't understand why people are mad that he scored a back-to-back touchdown. He's had contests with back-to-back scores. Also traded Singletary for Harris. I like that one too. That's pretty good. I'm not like a huge fan of Najee, but that could work for you. Especially trade bait. Up to 12, he has Barkley. Up 12, he has Barkley and Elliott. I have Bijan. I think it's going to be close because that's a lot of points to just need to outscore, but I think it's possible, but it's probably going to be down to the wire, bro. True Penguin, Mahomes, Tyreek, Dell, Worthy, Kyron, Ramondre, Kincaid, Bench, JD, Wright, Benson. Feel like this team should be better, but it's 0-2. I mean, bro, you have a really good team. I'm going to say unless you're trading Ramondre, and you can't trade Worthy or Dell low, so it's got to be on your bench somewhere, and I don't see it. So Ramondre maybe straight up for something, but how are you going to do that? What are you going to get? Ramondre for what? Ramondre for I don't know that it's possible to do much. Kincaid I love. I'm not selling Kincaid either. Mahomes I'm not getting rid of. Maybe Ramondre. Yeah, I'm just keeping it. You got to stand down. You have only Ramondre to sell high. You can't even sell him high. Tyreek you can't even sell high right now. I'm holding this team. It's a very good team. Let it ride. 0-2 it's not representative of what that team's capable of. I'm going to stand down on that one too. 2-0, 1 QB, Achane, JD5, Achane, Connor, Debo, Najee, Kincaid, Rice, Mostert, Benson, Coleman. Any moves? JD5, AR5. I'm keeping the lineup. I love the lineup. Rice. As long as Rice can start, love this team. Not touching it. You guys have built some teams that I very much, Smitty, approve at this point, and some of you are trying to get out of it after 2 weeks, and I wouldn't. Miss my super chat, says Alec. I don't understand why I would have missed a super chat. This is weird if I'm missing one or two of your guys' super chats. Alec. Let me see, Alec. No, I didn't, Alec. The only super chat you have is the one where you just said you missed my super chat. You must have not. It must have not went through. I don't even see him. Yeah, I don't see it. The only message you've posted yet is that one. It didn't go through, Alec. Whatever happened. $20 hauler from Chris. 10-team PPR. A lot of teams are devastated by injuries. What should I do? I got JD5, ETN, HN, JK, Dobbins, Pollard, Amon-Ra, Devontae Smith, Rice, Higgins, DJ Moore. I personally would trade DJ Moore and JK for one bigger player. Not that I don't like JK. I like what he's doing. I've already admitted that I was wrong on JK, at least initially, but I think he's going to probably get hurt, much like Mixon. And Mixon came back, but I'm just fearful of Mixon and JK if people think they're going to continue all year long. Mixon's got such a long, amount of workload that's just built up, and he's older. I would be very tempted to trade JK and DJ Moore for one better player. And probably like Jamar Chase is down and out right now. That's a fantastic attempt to go get. There's a lot of players. Kyron's very down and out right now. Achane, people worry about Tua, et cetera, et cetera. You got Achane though, so you can't go get him. But Kyron could be there for the taking. That's what I would do. And some people might not like Kyron. I don't really care if they don't like Kyron. That's fine by me. More reason that people will doubt him, and then we'll have him even cheaper. Murray, Connor, Gibbs, Nico, Cup, Bowers, London, benches, Najee. I'm trying to trade maybe Shaheed on the high, Flowers on the high. I don't think Flowers will be consistent, and I definitely consider trading. You have Benson, right? Do you have Benson? You don't have Benson, so I would maybe consider trading Connor with one of those guys for that Kyron, like Shaheed or Najee with Connor for Kyron on the cheap while Kyron's cheap. Jamar Chase while he's cheap. I'd try and do that and anticipate maybe missing, having Cooper Kupp gone for just a little bit. Hurts, Garrett Wilson, Dell, McLaurin, Odunze, Mitchell, Gibbs, Josh Jacobs, Ford, Garendo. Any moves to make with his team? Hurts. Garrett Wilson scares me right now, man. Dell, you can't get rid of him for anything anyway, so hold him. McLaurin, same thing. Gibbs, same thing. Jacobs, you could potentially look to shop, but I'd only go after Kyren or Achane or JT or Gibbs, but you have Gibbs. But those are the only players that I would potentially shop Jacobs for if anybody has the same problem. And how do you do that? Do you give up? I think Wilson's too much. Wilson and Jacobs for one of those guys is probably too much, but would I give up a Dunze? Would I give up maybe a Ford? Would I give up maybe I do Garrett Wilson and Jacobs for like a Kyren and something, but it would have to be like a Worthy, something like that. Worthy's a great buy low right now. For anybody that needs a good buy low, Worthy's a fantastic buy low. Connor Mixon, JJ Cup, MHJ, Kincaid, Keenan Allen, Zeke, Brooks, Odunze, Judy, cooked with injuries. Any trades? Bro, Mixon is kind of a guy I still want to get rid of. Maybe the people that didn't watch the game don't know that he got banged up and came back. You could maybe trade him. And Keenan Allen, I definitely getting rid of. Brooks, I definitely would get rid of. I don't like that offense at all. Connor is tempting to get rid of if you don't have Benson, and I don't think you do. MHJ, I won't trade. Cup, don't trade him low. Love Kyler Murray. JJ's fantastic, but we're awaiting that injury, but it's just a quad, so I think he'll be okay. I think the only thing is Keenan and Connor, Keenan and Mixon, Brooks and Mixon, Brooks and Keenan, all three for something, and go as high as JT, Kyren, Achane type players. Those are great go-gets right now. Racing Boy with a $20 hauler says 10-man PPR, QB, Stroud, Purdy, running backs, Bijan, Achane, K9, Sharps, Devontae Smith, Worthy, Coleman, Allen, Olave, Kirk, Kincaid. Any moves? I like this team a lot. I probably say because you got K9 and Sharps, you either hold that or trade both of them to get something. And I like Devontae Smith and Worthy, believe it or not. Maybe I'm trying to go get you could go buy a St. Brown on the cheap, maybe using K9 Sharps. And let's say, well, you got Olave there on the bench. You buried down there on the bench. You know what? Maybe you're good to go with Olave, Devontae, Worthy, or you upgrade Olave and K9 and Charbonnet for a top 3-4 wide receiver. Just go through the top guys. Would I give up like Christian Kirk and K9 and Sharps for Chase? Yeah. Would I go get Kyren? Yeah. K9 Sharps for Kyren, and you'd have to give up something along the lines of Keenan Allen or Kirk, or I don't know that I would give Olave unless I'm getting something back. You know, like a Worthy type player is what I keep throwing out there. Worthy's such a fantastic go-get. LOL says Hunter Henry or Freiermuth. I'm going to go Hunter Henry. He's been getting good, consistent targets, so I'm going to say Hunter Henry. This one here, thoughts on JSN. I think I like him a lot. He's very productive, very good player, but he could be inconsistent. It's hard to know, but I think he's a good wide receiver 3 at this point. Not a 2, but a 3. Lost Cup in 2 leagues. Not yet. What are we going to do? Let's hang tight on Cup before we start assuming the worst. What are we going to do? Pick up his backups. Go to the waiver wire board and look at this and say, grab you some DeMarcus Robinson, some Johnson, or some freaking Whittington, bro. And do it live. Grab any of these guys. Shaheed, AD Mitchell is going to be cut in a lot of leagues. Yoshi Voss is probably out there because people gave up on him after 1 week. Don't forget the RBs. Don't forget Steele. Might be Steele season or Pirine season, or potentially Braylon Allen. You can grab him and preemptively make sure you got that under control. Zay Flowers has more career TDs than Drake London. Just wait, pal. Just wait. Half PPR, Lamar Jackson, Aaron Jones, Harris, Chase, London, McBride, Olave. It's a good team. Aaron Jones and Olave for one big monster, bro. That's what I'm doing. Or Harris and Olave for one big monster. Go get those JTs, the Kyrens, the HNs, all the boys. Lost Cup in 2 leagues again. What are we doing? We don't know yet. Hang tight. Stop thinking the worst. And this one, 2 QB, T-Law, and JMO for Wilson. Mahomes and JD5. Yeah, I'd probably go get, I get Wilson in that situation and bank on it. That's a nice price tag. Am I worried about him? Yes. Burrow and Amari for Mahomes. I'd rather have Mahomes and Jordan Mason. Burrow and Amari for Mahomes and Jordan Mason. Stop, Quinn. Stop. Take a lap for even asking that question. Of course you go get the Mason side of that. $50 hauler from my boy. Who is this? Northwest to Mars.
To Mars.
To Saturn. This guy's going nuts over here, Northwest. Appreciate you, bro. I'm screwed after a great draft. I have Josh Allen, CMC. Damn, no Mason. Achane, Malik Neighbors, Tank Dell, likely Brian Robinson, benches Brian Thomas Jr. Maybe you can trade Brian Thomas Jr. for Mason, bro. I don't know. So I've seen Mason get had for very cheap, and I've seen him go for second round value. So I'd be very tempted to trade like Zamir White and Brian Thomas Jr. for Mason. Go get it done. Jamison Williams and Zamir White for Mason. Honestly, Mason's going to be your way to put this thing back together. Or trade CMC for 2 players. You know, go after a... I mean, right now, CMC... Wonder if you could get Kyren straight up. I wonder if you could get an injured St. Brown, and I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what St. Brown's injury is, but you almost have to take a risk. But I would try my best to go get Mason. Maybe you have already another potential go get RB that makes a lot of sense right now. God, Jacobs was perfect last week. Guys, do you have an idea for Northwest? Let's help Northwest, who's got a $50 hauler up, and I want him to get special attention. So if anybody can think of a running back he should target, let's throw that out there. He's got Achane, and that's pretty much it. Well, you got Brian Robinson, bro. You could roll with Brian Robinson and Achane as your RB, and you really could trade CMC for a wide receiver. You could go after Jamar Chase, CMC, and maybe... I mean, honestly, CMC and like Zamir White, CMC and maybe Pickens for Jamar Chase, and you just kind of risk it at running back and bank on having that running back stable of Brian Robinson in there. Like, he's been playing well. What will you trade Neighbors on the high for? He's very valuable right now. I'd rather have MHJ. I'd rather have, let's call it like Rashee Rice and something. Xavier Worthy and something extreme, like a huge quarterback upgrade. I'd trade Neighbors for Mahomes straight up if I'm looking at very bad quarterback play and I got hit hard by the Jordan Love injury and I got Neighbors and I want to get Mahomes. You might even be able to get something in that. So those are avenues I would attack. Drop Chase Brown for Allen. Yeah, you probably already should have done that. Braylon Allen, Steele, or Davis. These are all good pickups. I'd probably say, you know, we need to find out more about Steele tomorrow. If Steele's going to be starting, will Piron be starting? Is Pacheco out 1 week, 5 weeks, the season? And then Braylon Allen would be next on the list, but you got to wait on that one. And people post to say we will adjust and adapt. Take a lap. We are supposed to adjust and adapt, but we're also not supposed to knee-jerk react as well. And people are knee-jerk reacting like madmen right now. Just absolute bonkers. Hey, Smitty, half PPR league. Team is 1-1. QB, JD5, Fields, wide receiver, Puka, Cup, London, Rice, Coleman, Connor, Charbonnet, Wright, Wilson Jr. So the running back stable is pretty rough. Benson and Connor, at least you got that lockdown. Charbonnet's doing good for you right now. That's very solid. Kincaid, any trade ideas? Honestly, your whole wide receiver room is either injured or underperforming. Rice is not, but I don't know that people are paying for that Rice's services. Like, you don't have a lot to go on here as far as a trade. I think you probably have to, unfortunately, stick it out, and you could explore maybe a Rice trade for an RB because he is very productive, and I know a lot of people, at least smart people, would want to acquire his services. So maybe you can go after a Josh Jacobs. Maybe you can give up Rice and potentially someone like Charbonnet. Go to the Walker owner, see if they want, they got some RB that fits perfectly for this, like a Jacobs. But Charbonnet and Rice for, someone's saying Kyron's not good. Someone in the chat earlier just said Kyron's a running back too. Why not try? Why not try to get Kyron? Would I give up Rice for a Jacobs straight up? Yes. Would I give up Rice for, I don't know of a RB straight up that makes a whole lot of sense other than Jacobs, JT, guys that are going to be hard to get, but I would definitely ask for Achane. People scared about Tua and I think, like Connor and Benson's pretty damn secure for you. At least you have that, but you got to wait it out. The rest of this team, you can't trade it. It's just they're underperforming, but I don't necessarily think they're bad players. I just think you can't knee-jerk react. Stay on the waiver wire. Land the next Mason. If you landed Mason, it'd be over. Like, you have the team that everyone wants, and you got very crafty. You picked up Mason. Had you had Mason, you would have been out of this situation. Like, that's what you need to do. Focus on the waiver wire. Don't assume that there's not a monster sitting there. The Braylon Allen, the Steele, this might be that guy. Steele could be the guy. P. Ryan could be the guy. This could be the second league winner that's out there right now. 2 QB players to target with T-Law and JMO or BTJ. I'd pick up Penix Jr. if he's out there. I think Dak Prescott's the best buy low quarterback in Superflex right now because he's underperforming. Do we try to waiver for Carson Steele? Yes, Lando, we just did a whole segment on it. I think maybe you just joined. Here's the waiver wire board. It's at the top of the show. Make sure you watch the entire waiver wire segment. But yes, you're going to go get Steele probably. We need to find out tomorrow who's the starter, though. Is it P. Ryan, is it Steele, or is Pacheco in a walking boot and crutches for no big reason, and he plays week number 3? But we should have more information tomorrow. So hang tight on that. Laughing, 2 QB flex, Dynasty, Caleb, Herbert, Penix Jr., Kamara, Stevenson, B-Rob, MHJ, Dunze, Watson, Kelsey, 2-0. Trade Pickens for Moon Men or sell for high pick. I mean, Pickens, I would trade, trade picks. I thought that was Pickens. I thought you were abbreviating Pickens. Trade picks for Moon Men. Yeah, I mean, I guess I would consider, I would consider maybe trying to upgrade Stevenson into Kyron using picks, upgrading Stevenson into HN using picks, upgrading Stevenson or upgrading B-Rob into that, upgrading B-Rob into JT, upgrading maybe, your quarterback. Go get Mahomes, people are doubting Mahomes right now. This is 2 years in a row. People see him as a different player right now. They do. I see it every day. I see it every hour. I see it in my own live chat 4 or 5 times every 5 minutes. You just don't know until you try. But I'm going and trying AR5. Go use picks to upgrade AR5. Upgrade Caleb into AR5. Caleb's not it. I don't believe Caleb is it. I think Caleb proved me right tonight. I mean, does anybody disagree? We'll have an open phone line soon. Joe Mixon, ankle. Jefferson, quad. Do I panic? I mean, to a degree, Bruce, you got to panic a little bit that you have injuries, but do you get rid of them? No. Do you sell low? No. But do you try and hit that waiver wire hard? Fixing to be 0-2. Any moves? Patty, Gibbs, Kyron, Rashee Rice, Waddle, Kincaid, Masonite. I love your team. I'm not worried with your team. You don't have a lot to trade anyway unless it's Waddle and BT or Brooks and Waddle or Brooks and BT. So if you can trade Brooks and Waddle for a doubted freaking, St. Brown. Look at MHJ. Look how you could have got MHJ last week using maybe Brooks and Waddle. So St. Brown, Jamar Chase. Waddle and Brooks could maybe get you Jamar Chase right now. I would be trying to get Jamar Chase if I'm you with that team. Jamar Chase could win the league. I resent my $10 super chat. Not sure what's going on. Okay, I got it right here. I do see it. Appreciate you, Alec, for dropping that wad on screen. Alec, there you go, pal. I see it right here. I don't know why it didn't go through either. My fault on the failed super chat. Thought it went through. Got Hurts, AJB, Rice, Debo, Kyron, Ford, Kincaid, Ridley, Corum. Trades, talking to Brian Robinson, owner, right on waivers. AJB, I think he'll be fine. I'm not freaking out about AJB for 1 week. Rice, love him. Debo, love him. Kyron, love him. Kincaid, love him. I don't want to trade a single thing on this team because to do it, you got to get rid of one of those guys. I like everybody you have. I'm standing down, bro. I'm standing down. I love your team. You've got Kyron and Corum. You're fine there. You're a little weak at your running back too, but Ford's crafty. So what are you going to do? Like B-Rob for what? What would you have to give up to get, if you can give up like Ford and I mean, maybe Ridley and Ford for Jacobs, Ridley and Ford for, try for Kyron because people are crapping all over him right now. Try. Jacobs would be fantastic as well. I would say Pacheco, but now he's hurt. He would have been perfect there. But I honestly, unless I'm trading something along those lines, I'm not touching it. I'm not touching AJB, Hurts, Debo, Rice, or Kyron. Did I say Kyron earlier? I meant Achane. Go trade for Achane. You got Kyron, go trade for Achane. So if you can't get Achane, then let me pull up some rankings too, and we can go over some of the RBs that I think you could probably get your hands on right now, given the panic that is setting in. The panic is just real. Everyone's freaking out. RBs to go get potentially Achane, JT, ETN, even though, he did have some moments today for sure. Jacobs, Monty's even kind of safe to go get if you need a steady Eddie RB. Thank you, pal, for the super chat. $20 hauler from Arshel, appreciate you. Missed my earlier super chat, 12 team, 0.5 Fields, love. I don't think I missed it, bro, unless you dropped it like after the show or something, because I got through all of them. You got to make sure you don't drop it when the show's ended, because then I won't see it. But I don't see any super chat from you. You did drop this one right here. But like there's nothing that I'm still going through them. I still got like 5 or 6 that I'm going through, so that might be what you meant. There's a little bit of a delay. They don't get answered in the first 10 seconds. 12 team, 0.5 Fields, Love, Olave, Chase, Achane, Dobbins, Waddle, Dell, Worthy, Reed, Tajay, Brooks, 0-2. Any moves to make? I think this is the same super chat. Yeah. I would say if this was me, my guy, I would say on this one, you're hurting at quarterback pretty badly. I would be tempted to use Olave. I'd be tempted to use Dobbins to go get Patrick Mahomes. On the cheap, you can believe on him or not. If you don't believe in him, then don't get him. I'm not going to try and twist someone's arm into understanding that Patrick Mahomes is going to drop loads all season long, and I don't care. He had a 2-touchdown game today. He very well could have had 3 or 4, and you could keep saying woulda, shoulda, coulda. At some point, Smitty, you got to let it go. He has an arsenal of weaponry. This team's winning. This is not something where I'm worried or scared that KC's not going to be delivering fantasy football production. There are no red flags at all to support why the production isn't quite what we want it to be. I would buy Mahomes right now. Dobbins is a very big injury risk to me. Waddle's a concern, and Brooks is somebody I'd throw into a deal. I don't mind keeping Chase, Achane, Olave. I don't mind keeping one of Dobbins or I definitely keep Dell. You can't sell him low. Worthy, I love. Reed, I love. I would definitely go after a quarterback upgrade, and I would strongly consider Kyron using Waddle, and maybe you could use Reed and Dobbins for Kyron or JT. Those are good. Those are good ones, I think, bro. Appreciate you dropping the $20. This is a $20 hauler too. $20 hauler from Herschel.
To Mars.
To the moon. To Saturn.
Appreciate you, my guy, dropping that wad on screen. I don't see anything else. If anybody has anything else, this is a $20 hauler. I want to give him special attention for dropping this 20 wad. I like your team, bro. Dobbins is playing great. I venture to say he wasn't in your lineup in week 1, which could contribute to this being 0-2. So if you put him in your lineup, you got Achane, Dobbins, Worthy, Reed, Dell, Waddle, Olave. This is very good. Jamar Chase is a very good team, but I would upgrade to Mahomes. I would upgrade to Josh Allen. I would even explore AR5, and you might be able to give up like a Reed or a potential Brooks to get AR5. Trade Brooks to get AR5, bro. Love and Fields. Who has AR5? Who has 2 quarterbacks in the league? Those are all things that I would be looking at, my guy. In top 20. JMO top 20 rest of the season. Look, it's possible. He looks really good, bro. Myra with a $20 hauler. Appreciate Myra. Bro, this team is insane. Hurts, Brees, JJ, Nico, McBride, Nico. 2 Nicos. That is insane. Monty, Braylon Allen, BT, Lockett, Sutton, JMO, Cole, Mitchell. Bro scored 150 and have Hurts. That's awesome. You have 150 at Hurts. Congratulations to Mars. Thank you for the $20 hauler.
To Mars.
You love to see it. You love to see show teams exploding. Miles, appreciate you. I think you missed my super chat. Everybody says that. It's the most common thing I hear. Let's see if I did. Miles, Miles, your super chat didn't go through. I don't even have a message from you, Miles, other than this message. I don't think there might be an issue with super chats going through on the first time, but I don't see a super chat. I don't know if you can scroll up and even see it, but I don't have it. Meta, appreciate you, $20 hauler. Already got that one. Thank you. Appreciate you, Meta, for dropping that. All right, back to the super chats. Myra, instead of 2 Nikos, I have AJB. That works too, Myra. That works too. And Myra dropping a $20 hauler just to tell me that.
2 Mars.
Wow. Myra, appreciate you dropping 20 wads. Unbelievable. And your team is insane. Your team is insane. Absolutely insane. I think you missed. Yeah, Miles, I don't have. Let me search one more time, Miles. Yeah, Miles, I don't have it. You just have that one. Castro with a 20 says Smitty, 10 team, 1-1, trying to improve. Have Mahomes, CMC, Mason, Garendo, Achan, Wright, Amari Cooper, London, Keon. Thinking of trading Andrews, Cooper for Dell and Olave. Andrews and Cooper for Dell and Olave. I would do that. Trade ideas for better. So if you get Dell and Olave, then you have the potential to maybe trade Olave. And I don't know. I think at that point, I'm probably sitting pretty solid unless I'm trading like Olave and maybe you lose Cooper, then I don't think you have much to trade with, and keep CMC and Mason together. I like your team at that point. I'm gonna say stand down, but definitely do that trade. I think it gives you the depth you need, and then at that point, there's not a lot of movability until next week, and you let some players play and do well. Super chats are overload. Please check mine, says DeBalt. DeBalt, yours is next up. It was next up. I'm going in orders and order as fast as I can. 11 leagues, 10 dubs. Nice job. Pacheco hurt, no problem. Insert Ramondre Stevenson. Draft better and listen to Smitty. 8 out of 10 projections are godly. We win championships here. Thank you, DeBalt. Appreciate you dropping the 2 super chats, my guy. The man, the myth, the legend, DeBalt. Aaron with a $5 hauler. Coach Pierce wants Zamir White to be the workhorse back with Carolina, have the worst run D in the league opportunity. He's had poor matchups for 2 straight weeks. Yeah, I don't mind this. The only thing I would say is it depends on your option. So somebody asked me earlier, are we going Zamir White in Carolina? I said, depends. I need to know the options and the alternative. In general, sure. And I think that there is a possibility, though, that maybe Zamir doesn't get all the work, and we're surprised on that. We'll have to see how they feel walking into week number 3. They may have thought that way about him. We'll have to find out. But I think that it depends on the option that you have. Fixing to be 0-2. I think I already read this one. Patty Mahomes, Gibbs, Kyron, Rice, Waddle, Kincaid, Masonite, Coleman, Mitchell, Deontay, BT. I think I already gave advice on this one. Yeah, it was Waddle and BT. Patty, I like this team a lot. I'm only trying to get rid of Waddle. I keep Masonite. I keep everything together. It's going to be hard to move anything. BT and Waddle together is going to be a hard sell. And I don't want you upgrading that lineup. I love everything in that lineup. So try your best, I guess, to use BT and Waddle to get that one wide receiver like Jamar Chase. Past that, it's kind of stand down mode because your team's pretty set up nicely. Sims, appreciate you with your question. Flex 10-man thoughts. I'm 1-0, up 44 with Hurts and Devontae Smith left. So nice. Your team's looking solid. Garrett Wilson is scaring me a little bit, like DJ Moore and Garrett Wilson for Jamar Chase. Would I do that? Take one problem and get rid of one problem? Maybe. That might be the best move to make. I think that's probably the most attractive move. Would I throw in Zach Moss to get it done or something like that? Yeah, I probably would. I'm also very tempted to swap out Garrett Wilson doing something similar for Marvin Harrison Jr. if you could still get him, but probably going to be hard to trade for him at this point. I think St. Brown's a risky go-get, but somebody I'm going to poke around at. Trade Ferguson for Reed. Yeah, because Ferguson's getting cut by a lot of people. I have Bowers. I would definitely do that. 100% do that. And then Collins and Pittman and Ladd and McConk. That's just my wide receivers. Yeah, definitely do that. Reed would be a fantastic get in that situation. 100%. Danny, appreciate you with the $5 hauler. Traded Dell and Kirk for Worthy and McLaurin. I think that could go either way. I'd rather have Worthy by a slight hair, but it's a really, really potentially good move for you. And other moves, maybe Ramondre, and I don't think you can trade Scary Terry right now. These aren't a lot of good sell high candidates across the board except for Bijan, and I don't want to trade him. So if I could later on upgrade, let's say, using Scary Terry if he has a good week next week, or Likely if he bounces back, which, you know, you could trade Kelsey and bank on Likely, and I still very much like Likely. You could go Kelsey and Ramondre for that top player like Jamar Chase potentially, or, you know, Gibbs type player. That would be pretty solid. Breece Hall, for example. Those would be good moves if you can pull that off. Chuba, appreciate you. 12-team QB Daniels, running backs Kyron, Jacobs, B-Rob, Brooks, Wilson, Pittman, Rice, BT, Addison, Laporta. Not sure if I can make any moves. Well, JD5 is going to be hard to trade. Kyron's going to be hard to trade. Jacobs might have some trade value, but I don't know if you want to trade him. B-Rob could be traded. Brooks could be traded. Maybe B-Rob and Wilson for Jamar Chase. Maybe Brooks and Wilson for Jamar Chase. Maybe you keep Rice, you keep BT. Maybe Pittman as well. Pittman, Wilson, and B-Rob for Jamar Chase. I'd be tempted to trade Brooks and Pittman for injured St. Brown. Wilson would be hard to trade for St. Brown. BT and Brooks for St. Brown might be a good gamble, but we have to monitor what St. Brown's doing and how he's looking. And there could be news breaking while I'm going through this, by the way, so we'll find out. I'm trying to look at the news as I'm going through all this, but my mind is focused and laser locked in. Already said this, but Hill, Charbonnet for Kyron and Pickens. I would take Kyron and Pickens. Also Singletary for Harris. Yes. Is Allen, ETN, London, Devontae, thoughts? Already said, yeah, I mean, like I answered this already. I love it. I love it. I think that there's some pros and cons to it. I mean, Hill could get Tua back sooner than we think, and then maybe you don't like it. But this could be a 4-week thing, a 3-week thing. Tua could say, I'm not considering retirement, and that's a news report, and he actually is. So tough to say, but your team's looking solid. Amari or Kirk, I'm trading either one of those. Maybe for Harris. Let's see, Pickens and also Singletary for Harris. Are you getting Harris? What about, get Harris. Harris and Amari for one better player is a pretty solid move, Dylan. Brandon, appreciate you. Dynasty, Superflex, AR5T, Law, Chase, Collins, Ayuk, Adunze, Masonite, Jones, Mixon, McBride. Any moves or sit on the squad? I probably would consider keep AR5, keep Jamar Chase, keep Nico Collins. Ayuk I would trade. Masonite, I would trade if the price is right. Like Ayuk and Masonite for Bijan. Ayuk and Masonite for Gibbs. Like something like that I would strongly consider. But I wouldn't fault anybody for not doing that. I'd also try and get like a Dell or a Worthy back or someone like that. Aaron Jones and Ayuk for one player. Jacobs-like or potentially Devontae Smith, DK-like. DK is going to be hard to trade for at this point in time. Any moves? This team's 2-0 for a reason, so you don't necessarily have to make any moves. Maybe Ayuk and Mixon for a top 3 running back because Mixon has a lot of value. He still does, and people might not have watched the game to even know he went out of the game. $10 hauler, depressed fantasy manager, 10-team league, Hurts, Bijan, Kyron, Adams, Smith, Dell. I mean, look, that's a good team, bro. Bench is Najee, Zeke, Kirk, Likely. I don't think I move anything. I think this is one of those things where if you change lanes, then the lane you get in is going to start going slow, and the traffic lane that you exit is going to start speeding by you. Adams maybe. Adams and Najee for one better player. Go after Jamar Chase. That's the only move. Other than that, or maybe one other wide receiver move like that. Obviously, Lamb. And I mean, you could take a gamble on Hill if you wanted, but I would make that move or that move only. I have Laporta, Monty, and JMO on the bench, although all can start. I'd like to trade one for some value. What move should I make? It's not a lot of information, bro. I would say JMO, like if you're trading one of them, there's not a lot of 1-for-1 trades that go down these days. It's a lot of 2-for-1s, a lot of 2-for-2s. I suppose you could trade Monty for, I mean, you could have traded him for MHJ. That ship has sailed. You could trade JMO for maybe you could trade Monty and JMO for a Kyren or Gibbs. Maybe you could trade both of them for Jamar Chase if you even feel like that's an upgrade. 1-for-1's not much come to mind on that, unless it's Rashee Rice or something. That would be pretty good. Like Monty for Rice, I'd do that. 12-team half PPR: Gibbs, Achane, Cup, Dell, Richardson, Kincaid, Reed, Coleman, bench, Wright, Fields, Gibbs, Achane, Cup, Dell, Richardson. Very good team. Wait on it. Miles, don't get reactive. That's a very good team. I don't want you messing with that squad. It's a very good squad. Okay, Jacobs, Kyren, Mahomes, Garrett Wilson, Dell, McBride, Pollard, Reed, Pickens, BT, Corum, 80 Mitchell, Kyler. Any moves? I'd probably say Pollard and Garrett Wilson for Jamar Chase. Pollard and Garrett Wilson for MHJ. Too late to do it, but try. Pollard and Garrett Wilson maybe for... I'd probably gamble on Tyreek Hill in this situation. I don't know if Pollard's going to have that kind of pull. Pollard and Reed for... I'd maybe take a gamble on St. Brown or Cup. You're taking a gamble, though. You are taking a gamble. You have to know that. Those are moves I would make. Kyler, maybe Kyler. Kyler just blew up, bro. Your move's Kyler. Kyler and Reed for one big monster, Jamar Chase. Kyler and Pickens for Jamar Chase. Kyler maybe for St. Brown if you're feeling like he's going to be okay. We'll know more tomorrow, so don't put your offers up yet. Just have conversations. Daniels, running backs, Kyren, Jacobs, B-Rob, Brooks, wide receivers, Garrett Wilson, Pittman. Same thing with you. Don't trade Rice, Wilson, and maybe B-Rob. Wilson and Brooks for one slightly better RB would be the avenue I would go with that team. 100%. $10 hauler. Thank you, Clocks, for this one. Thoughts on Shaheed. Flex and Saints offense going against Philly next week, and then Atlanta. 12-team standard league. Wide receivers are Dell, DK, and I also have Jacobs and Adunze and Javante. I mean, honestly, DK and Shaheed are probably your top two options, but I'm still finding a place for Dell in my flex. In Jacobs, I'm starting, obviously. But would I rank Shaheed over Dell? Probably right now, but that could change really quickly, and I'm not giving up on Tank Dell. Ramon, appreciate you with the $10 hauler. My guy, Kyler, Chase, Pacheco, Kamara, Laporta, Metcalf, Puka. Any trade advice? I'd probably say, hold Laporta, Puka, and Pacheco. I mean, don't get rid of them for dirt cheap or anything like that. This team is very tough. Thomas Jr. and maybe... I don't even know you can do anything, bro. I think you got to almost wait. You've got Kyler, you've got Jamar Chase, you've got Kamara, you've got Laporta, you got Metcalf. You have some fill-ins like Ford. I don't think it's smart to make any moves with any of those guys. I'm not selling high. I love all those players. Unless you could trade Pacheco, to somebody who has a player that's starting that they are willing to say this is an upgrade, I'll take it. Guys that come to mind would be like Monty. You trade Pacheco for Monty because the guy wants to wait on him. Something like that. ETN, Pacheco and something for ETN. Pacheco and Thomas Jr., somebody wants to wait on him, and you get a JT, Achane, Kyren type player, or St. Brown, or, you have Jamar Chase already. So you can't, but no one's going to take him unless you couple like BT with him, 10-man super flex, 3 keepers, AR5 Lamar, Hall, Monty, Sharps, Ayuk, Waddle, Andrews, benches, Moss, Dunze, Demarcus Robinson, Higgins, Brooks. 101 trades. Brooks and Higgins and Ayuk for an upgrade. Higgins and Monty for that Kyren or Achane upgrade, or JT or Barkley. Those would be the moves I'd just be throwing at the wall, bro. Throw JSN in the mix maybe if you need it. 10-team 0 PPR. Burrow, Bijan, Zeke, Chase Brown, Jaleel, Brooks, Wright. Kind of weak at running back 2. MHJ, London, JSN, Higgins. I wonder if you could trade Higgins and maybe Jaleel, or Higgins and Brooks for Jacobs, ETN, Mason, JT, Monty for maybe a smaller package. I really like Monty right now for some of your running back twos. Your scenarios in running back two. You're hearing me say Monty a lot because I think he fits the bill. And here's Monty on this team. Allen, Saquon, Monty, Singletary, Wilson at wide receiver, Flowers, Worthy, J-Mo. I think Worthy and J-Mo could be your 2 and 3. And I think maybe you're trading Flowers and Wilson for one Jamar Chase. You're trading maybe you're keeping Wilson and you're trading Flowers. And even though I like Monty in some cases, I'd trade Monty and Flowers into a Kyron or Achan or Barkley or JT. Aloha, shout out to all of you. Hard work, gratitude all day. Appreciate you. Thank you. Appreciate that. Monty, PPR got Kyler and T-Law. Wide receivers are Hill, Cup, Debo, Rice. Very good. BT, Wandell, McBride. Running backs are Edwards, Swift. Let's take some of these wide receivers and try and get an RB. So Hill, Tyreek Hill, Cooper Cup, Debo, Rice, BT. So BT and Edwards, BT and Swift, BT and Moss. And you're trying to get like Swift and BT. Monty again comes to mind. J.K. Dobbins, if you want to take a little gamble. Kamara's off the table. Such a good buy low last week. Stevenson's interesting. Mixon hurt. Maybe they want to trade him. Is interesting. Jordan Mason would be interesting. Obviously, guys above that would be very, very interesting. But it's going to be hard to trade up and into something more big time than that. This one from Mark. Mark with a $20 hauler. Mark to Mars. Thank you, Mark. This one real quick. I forgot to answer this one earlier. Should I try and trade Tyreek for James Cook? I'd rather have Tyreek. But I understand where you're coming from, but no thank you. This one here, Hurts, St. Brown, Devonta Smith, Achan, Cook, Bowers, Worthy, it's 85. Trade James Cook plus Worthy for Jamar Chase and Monty. Yes, I would take that. Include Devonta Smith and Cooks for Chase and Monty. Devonta Smith and Cook and James Cook. Devonta Smith, James Cook for Chase and Monty. James Cook, Worthy for Chase and Monty. I'd rather hold Devonta Smith than Worthy by a hair. So to answer that, but I would do either one of those. Interest, appreciate you. 0 and 2 have Mahomes, Hill, Cooper, J-Mo, Kelsey, JSN, Pollard. So Pollard and maybe Cooper for one player. Ayuk and Pollard for one player. Pickens and Pollard for one player. Pickens and Pollard could get you maybe Jacobs, maybe Stevenson, maybe ETN. At wide receiver, maybe A.J. Brown hurt, maybe Rashee Rice, maybe Drake London. Drake London's also a very good go-get player. And he may do badly in this game, or he may do great in this game, so you got to kind of pick your poison on when you attack that situation. 88, appreciate you. I'm about to be 101. I have Lamar, Olave, Keenan Allen, Nico, Worthy, Lockett, Ramondre, Bijan, and Njoku, Dotson, Mike Williams. This is a good... there's some good parts about this team. I guess you could say like Nico and Worthy and Bijan, but I guess there's some concern about, well, Olave, Keenan Allen, Lamar. Those are not my exact favorite players, but could you potentially give up Ramondre and Keenan for ETN? I think ETN's a very good go-get right now. Kyron and Achan. And I just kind of throw a bunch of those together to try and get it done. I keep Nico. I'm okay with Lamar. Would I trade? Maybe Lamar downgraded to AR5 gets you some sort of huge upgrade if you're throwing Ramondre in for a running back upgrade, or you're throwing Keenan Allen in for a wide receiver upgrade. And I know AR5s comes with some risk, but if you want to risk the biscuit, then I think that's a pretty fun move to downgrade and get an upgrade somewhere else, because I think AR5 can still be top 5. Missing 12 team. Strike the dude. Appreciate you. A half PPR. Fields, Cook, James Cook, Masonite, Tyreek, Evans, Laporta, Collins. Very good team, man. Flowers. The only person you could trade, what did you do? Corum and Hill and Laporta. I would say, I mean, it's a really good team, bro. I would say maybe you could use Flowers to upgrade Mason into, a Kyren or an Achane. If not, then you stand pat. A JT or a Barkley as well. Same thing with Cook. If I would add Flowers to do that. I'd add Flowers and Tyreek together to get Jamar Chase to be a little bit safer, I suppose. But Jamar Chase comes with his risk as well. But those would be the things that were on my mind. And Olvera, appreciate you dropping your super chat. 10 team 2-0. Lamar, Kamara, nice. Cook and Kamara balled for you this week. Amon-Ra did ball, but he got injured. Godwin balled for you. McBride, Harrison balled for you. Damn, you went nuts this week. Any moves? I don't know. You're crushing it. This week was your week. Like, what a day. What a day. Wow. Pollard, upgrade Lamar into Mahomes. Do it live. Yeah. Pollard to upgrade Amon-Ra to Chase. Pollard and Kamara. I don't know. Maybe just keep Kamara. I was going to say sell high, but just keep Kamara. Just keep him. Anyway, we have cleared the super chats. I don't even know if I have the energy to do the phone line tonight, guys. I've been going strong all day long. I think I might call it. Don't forget to subscribe to Underdog Fantasy or sign up for Underdog Fantasy using the link that I'm going to drop in the live chat right now, and I'm going to pin that link in the live chat. This is where we get 50% match on our first deposit. Hit this link right here. I'm dropping it in the live chat right this very second. I'm going to pin said link in the live chat right this very second. And basically, folks, you want to draft, do it live. Click this link. Use code Smitty. It's a good damn time. It's how we dominate in draft for week number 3. Start over using what we know now. Starting over. Clear our heads. Hurts, Gibbs, Bijan, Connor, Jones, Rico, Algier, MHJ, Rice, Devontae Smith, Bowers, Goddard. Any moves to the effing moon? Appreciate you, bro. Hurts, Gibbs, Bijan, Connor. I mean, come on. This is absolutely outstanding. MHJ, Rice, Devontae Smith. I'm not moving a thing. These are all space astronauts. I'd just keep flexing that, bro, each week. Show us that team, and everybody's going to see why you're saying go to the effing moon, because your team's going to the moon. 12-team league standard scoring. Thank you for the $50 hauler. Clocks gets a Mars.
To the moon.
Or moon. Mars.
To
Saturn. Appreciate you. Damn. Clock's coming in strong. 12-team standard league. I have Murray, JT, Kyren, Dell, DK, Likely, Jacobs. Like the team a lot. Adunze, Shaheed. Not a lot of trade bait on the bench, to be honest with you. So you're trading Shaheed maybe? For what? No one's going to buy Tank Dell, so hold him. No one's going to buy Likely off of this week, hold him. Jacobs and Shaheed for Achane, Barkley, JT. Is that even possible? Did Jacobs earn that kind of value? People are fickle. They see a 100-yard game and they say, give him to me. 120-plus yard rushing game given to me. That guy's the number 1 running back. Like, people freak out, so you could try it. And Shaheed's had 2 straight weeks. I've seen people sell guys like Shaheed for much more than you can ever imagine. So you add in Shaheed and a guy like Jacobs, both popped off. You could easily get your hands on a Achane, a JT, or a Barkley. I'm not saying you will. I'm saying you can. And I would certainly take stabs at those guys. Gibbs would be especially on my mind. Gibbs would be on my mind here. JT. And then this right here. Thoughts on team and dropping Lazard for a guy like Quentin Johnson or Pierce. I guess, are there better wide receivers available? Pierce and Johnson are a little lower on this, so I don't know if anybody here is there. Shaheed, Yoshivas. I still think A.D. Mitchell is going to be really, really good. But I don't blame you for wanting Quentin Johnson in there for 1 week. I just personally think he's fool's gold, personally. You trading Neighbors and Kincaid for Jamar Chase? No, I'm not. I'm going to bank on Kincaid more than that. I like Kincaid a lot. I'm going to say negative on that one. I appreciate every single one of you. I'm live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, every single Monday through Friday. I'm live whenever big news breaks. Additionally, and I'm live most midnights, either reviewing games. So anytime we go live anytime a game ends. So Monday night game, Thursday night game, Sunday night game, or Sunday morning and afternoon slates of games. The sum total of the morning and afternoon. I go live, we review the games, and we do the live waiver wire show, which is right in front of your face right here. This is the week 3 waiver wire. We'll adjust and adapt as the week goes along. This is not a show where we do one waiver wire show. We do one waiver wire show on Sunday evening, right when the Sunday night game ends. We launch it every single time, and we plop out the initial look of the waiver wire, but this will be adjusted as the week moves along. I'll reference it all week long. I'll even reference it on Friday and Saturday, because you might have already had your waivers go through, but these guys still might be on your waivers, and this is a good indication to go pick them up if you're looking at this from any sort of like, man, I need a filler perspective. Well, did you check your waiver wire? Are these guys still out there? This is how we talked about Mason walking into that week 1 constantly. Do you have Mason? Is Mason available? Is Mason available? Is Yoshivas available? And then Yoshivas did nothing, but now he does something in week 2. So look at this board, understand it. Steele and P. Ryan could be huge this week. So hang tight, and obviously, the Rams receivers could be huge as well. Just a lot of injuries this week. It was Bloody Sunday. I think a lot of people are kind of down today, but keep in mind everybody's down. Like people it's so funny, people don't realize that just because you had a little bit of a damper week, like you had some good things and some bad things, you're assuming that the other owners didn't have the same damn thing. Everybody was hit a little bit, bro. I have 20 freaking teams, and every team has something that went wrong. Like, it's the way it is. It's just when you look from your own lens and you think everybody else is having a great time. Everybody struggles. Hit the Breeze clip on the way out the door, please. Thank you, DeBalt, for the $2 hauler. Let's hit that clip now. Appreciate you all. Breeze Hall.
Breece Hall is 8 foot tall. He will always answer the mother freaking call. Don't let him fall. In the third, don't stall. Just give Batman the freaking football.
He's Breece. He's Breece.
He does a whole of a job. A whole of a job. A whole of a job.
Breece Hall, please report to the moon. Hi. What would you like? Footballs, please. Lots of footballs, please. Coming up. He's Marvin, he's 11 feet tall, and he loves to consume the football. He's Kyler, he's 4 feet tall, but starving Marvin will answer the call. They're Kyler and Marvin. Get breached.
I'm a Cardinal, I'm a Cardinal. 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 I'm a Cardinal, I'm a Cardinal.
The Cardinals look to be rising, and MHJ is your king.
Hi, my name is B. John Robinson. I like long walks on the beach. And, well, I also like scoring.
Thank you all for the super chats, especially thank those $50 haulers tonight. Clock, appreciate you, Clocks, coming in with that 50 wad. You absolute monster, you. We also had several $20 haulers tonight. Appreciate Mateo or Meta. I'm sorry, Meta. Clocks, thanks for the 50. Mark Nelson, thanks for the $20 hauler. Castro, $20 hauler. Myra, 20. Appreciate you. Herschel, appreciate your $20 hauler. Herschel to the moon. G Money to the moon with a 20. We got Northwest with a 50. Racing Boy with a 20. Chris with a 20. And Matta with a 20. And appreciate all your super chats, whether there were $2, $1, $5, $10. Doesn't, I'm grateful to all of you. And we'll be back tomorrow.